Have you ever noticed how you feel when you see someone getting rich? Anger, envy, or perhaps inspiration? This reaction, which often happens almost automatically, can reveal much more about you than it does about the person who got rich. Bob Proctor, one of the greatest financial mindset mentors, used to say, "What you feel when you see someone rich reveals your own scarcity." This phrase is powerful because it makes us reflect deeply on what is really happening inside us when it comes to money, prosperity, and abundance. Think for a moment. When someone buys a luxury car, an incredible home, or shares financial achievements, what's the first emotion that comes to mind? Maybe a tightness in your chest, a sense of injustice, or even the thought that they don't deserve it, or perhaps a feeling of motivation, as if it were possible to achieve that level of wealth. Have you ever experienced this? These seemingly common moments hold one of the biggest secrets to your relationship with money. The truth is that your financial mindset is constantly revealing itself through your emotions, and that's precisely where the crux lies. If you feel discomfort or rejection when you see wealth, you may be reinforcing limiting beliefs of scarcity. But if you can feel inspiration and gratitude, you're already beginning to move closer to abundance mindset, which is the natural way to attract prosperity. What you'll discover now may surprise you because it's not just about positive thinking, but about reprogramming the hidden patterns that control how you attract or repel wealth. Bob Proctor believed that every human being carries within them a kind of financial program, shaped by experiences, phrases heard in childhood, and repeated patterns throughout life. This program is so powerful that, without realizing it, it determines how capable you believe you are of earning, saving, or multiplying money. What's more, it also shapes how you react to the prosperity of others. In other words, how you interpret other people's wealth acts as a mirror that reflects your own state of mind regarding money. Just imagine, if, when you see someone prosper, you feel that their success diminishes your own chances, it means that deep down, you believe the universe operates on scarcity, as if there isn't enough for everyone. But if you can look at it and think, if this person can do it, so can I, then you're acting in tune with the energy of abundance. This difference in perception is what separates those who struggle with their finances from those who forge a path to attract wealth naturally. Stay with me until the end, because we'll dive together into this journey of financial self-knowledge, and you'll understand how to transform feelings that once seemed negative into powerful allies for your prosperity. You may never have stopped to consider how a simple emotion can be revealing the invisible blocks that prevent you from growing, but it's precisely this awareness that opens the door to mental reprogramming. Money, in Bob Proctor's view, isn't just numbers or bank accounts, but a manifestation of the energy you transmit to the world. If your energy vibrates in scarcity, that's what you attract. If you shift your frequency to abundance, the reality around you begins to transform. And it all begins when you decide to honestly observe how you react to wealth. Now, before we move on, I want you to ask yourself a sincere question. What emotion arises within you when you see someone prospering? Because it's precisely from this answer that we'll begin to uncover how to reprogram your mind to attract wealth. And perhaps right now, you're already remembering a situation where you felt something powerful when you saw someone prosper. It could have been a friend who bought a new house, a co-worker who got a promotion, or even someone you follow on social media showing off their achievements. These memories are precious because they reveal exactly how your mind is wired around money. And that's why I really want to hear from you. What was the feeling that most impacted you in situations like these? Sharing this in the comments isn't just a vent, it's a way to get what was hidden out, and at the same time, help others who can relate to your experience. When you actively participate in this conversation by leaving your comment, something incredible happens. We create together a community of people who are awakening to the spirituality of money and to the power of mental reprogramming. Each comment below could be exactly the word someone else needed to read to see themselves and start changing. And if what you've heard so far resonated in any way, touched your heart, or sparked an important reflection, please leave a like. It seems simple, but this gesture shows YouTube that this topic matters, that it needs to reach more people who, like you, are seeking to expand their financial mindset and attract wealth. And of course, if you feel like continuing this journey, if this type of content awakens in you the desire to learn more and transform, subscribe to the channel. This way you ensure you'll always receive new videos, new reflections, and new tools to strengthen your abundance mindset. Your presence here is what keeps this space alive. It's the fuel that allows this message to reach more and more hearts. So, as we continue this conversation, leave your mark. Your participation is much more important than you might think, because it's what builds this cycle of growth and learning we're creating together. The big issue is that most people don't even realize they're trapped in a silent cycle that undermines their chances of prosperity. This cycle has a simple name, but it has a profound impact: scarcity. It's like an invisible lens that distorts how you view money, success, and even your own potential. When someone expresses discomfort, envy, or resentment towards someone else's wealth, what's really surfacing is their own financial mindset, shaped by limiting beliefs accumulated throughout life. Perhaps phrases they heard as a child, such as, "Money doesn't bring happiness," "Rich people are selfish," or "You can't have everything in life." These seemingly innocent seeds grow within us and become invisible walls that keep us from prosperity. It's curious how these walls can be so subtle. You may even believe you want to earn more, have stability, achieve financial freedom, but if deep down you carry the feeling that money is unfair, dirty, or unattainable, you end up sabotaging yourself without realizing it, and life begins to repeat the same pattern: opportunities that slip away, businesses that fail, debts that seem to always return. It's as if there's a hidden truth behind the scenes of your journey, silently controlling your decisions and outcomes. This scarcity trap has a direct impact on daily choices. For example, when someone sees a successful person and thinks, "They were lucky, I'll never have that," they're reinforcing their own limitations. It's as if they're telling their mind, "I don't deserve to prosper," and the mind, obediently, continues to recreate circumstances to confirm this belief. This is where many get lost, because they don't understand that their emotions aren't just fleeting reactions, but clear signs of what's programmed in their subconscious. The scarcity mindset turns every achievement of others into a painful reminder of what they believe they can't achieve. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this topic because there's something fascinating about this mechanism. Envy, resentment, or even feelings of injustice don't arise by chance. They act as indicators. They show exactly where the blockage lies. Every time you feel this tightness when you see someone prospering, it's as if the universe is giving you an opportunity to see what needs to be transformed. Instead of rejecting this feeling, you can observe it and ask, where does this come from? Why do I feel that someone else's wealth diminishes my own? This simple question already opens the door to breaking patterns and initiating a true inner transformation. And when we talk about limiting beliefs, we're not just talking about old phrases, but about an entire system of thoughts that creates a scarce reality. It's like living in a dark room without realizing there's an open window, letting in light. You just need to look in the right direction. The mindset shift begins when you understand that there's no such thing as lack, only the perception of lack. Abundance is already available, but scarcity is a filter that prevents us from seeing. This filter also creates a domino effect. Those who think about scarcity make decisions based on fear of spending, fear of investing, fear of losing. And these decisions, in turn, generate more scarcity results, creating a nearly endless cycle. It's as if each step is taken on shaky ground, always afraid of falling. But the secret is to realize that this ground only exists in the mind. True stability begins when you decide to exchange fear for confidence and envy for inspiration. When you change the way you view other people's wealth, something amazing happens. Instead of feeling like you're falling behind, you begin to see proof that prosperity is possible. Every person who achieves abundance becomes a living reminder that you can too. This simple adjustment in perception takes you out of the scarcity trap and puts you on the path to abundance. Comment there. That makes sense to me. There's a key point Bob Proctor always emphasized that often goes unnoticed. The feelings you harbor about money aren't just fleeting emotions, but clear signs of the invisible programs that govern your financial life. It's as if your mind were a stage, and behind the scenes, deep-rooted beliefs dictate what you can and cannot achieve. These seemingly simple feelings are like traces left by a hidden script, and the great revelation is that they can either bring you closer to prosperity or push you further away. Think about it. When you feel anger, envy, or even discomfort when you see someone prospering, you're sending a silent message to your subconscious. This message is interpreted as a command. Wealth is something negative, something I don't want around me. The result? Your mind creates mechanisms to repel opportunities, ward off growth, and even sabotage achievements that were already underway. On the other hand, when your reaction to wealth is one of gratitude, admiration, or inspiration, that same subconscious understands, wealth is something positive, I accept it, I deserve it. And naturally, your mind begins to attract situations, connections, and decisions that create space for abundance. This is the true secret of the millionaire mind. It's not just about financial strategies, spreadsheets, or investments. All of these have value, but they don't work without the right foundation. What sustains prosperity is the abundance mindset, and it stems from within your emotions. Bob Proctor always emphasized that you don't attract what you desire with your mouth, but what vibrates intensely in your heart. Desiring wealth while feeling rejection or resentment is like accelerating a car with the handbrake on. You push hard, but you don't move. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because there's a silent transformation that happens when you shift the focus of your emotions. What seemed like a reaction becomes a conscious choice. Instead of harboring resentment, you choose to feel inspired. Instead of dwelling on lack, you choose to see possibilities. This shift, even if it seems small, has a huge impact in the long run, because each emotion carries energy, and this energy shapes your decisions. This is precisely where most people stumble. They don't realize that their financial decisions, whether it's spending impulsively, avoiding investments, or settling for less, are born of misinterpreted emotions. The hidden truth is that every choice stems from prior emotional programming. When you understand this, you gain the power to rewrite that script. And by rewriting, you begin to create a completely new journey, marked by greater clarity, courage, and openness to opportunities that previously seemed unattainable. The most inspiring thing is that this process doesn't require anything grand right away. It begins in simple moments, like consciously observing how you feel when you see someone prosper. It may seem small, but this is the beginning of transformation. It's in these moments that you decide whether you want to continue repeating the pattern of scarcity or whether you're willing to make room for abundance. The millionaire mindset isn't born from the outside in, but from the inside out, when you consciously choose to nurture feelings that strengthen your relationship with money. And the more you practice this choice, the more natural it becomes. Over time, what was once envy turns into admiration. What was once discomfort turns into motivation. And what once seemed unattainable becomes seen as the next step on your journey. It's at this point that your mind shifts frequency, and this shift creates a fertile ground for opportunities, ideas, and connections to emerge, almost as if by coincidence. But in reality, they're responses to the new vibration you've begun to emit. This is the power of mental reprogramming that Bob Proctor so often taught. You don't need to fight the world to achieve wealth. You need to align your inner energy so that the world responds. It's a silent shift, but it has a profound impact because it alters not only your relationship with money, but with life itself. Right there. I'm on this journey too, ChatGPT said, and as you absorb all of this, you may have a desire for something more direct, something that helps you put this mindset change into practice without so much hassle. With that in mind, I've prepared a supplementary material called The Wealth Signal. It was created especially for those who feel that this topic makes sense and want to take more consistent steps towards abundance. The key to this material is 9-word wealth script, a simple technique that immediately activates your wealth signal, adjusting your energy so that it is aligned with the prosperity you want to attract. If it makes sense to you, check out the material I've left below. It's practical, straightforward, and can save you a lot of time when applying what we're discussing here. But it's important to note, this content may be taken offline at any time, so if it's useful to you, take advantage of it while it's still available. It's here in the description, but I may take it offline in the next few days. Do you notice how often the biggest obstacles aren't in the outside world, but within our own minds? There's a curious detail that almost no one stops to notice. When we see someone prospering, whether it's buying a new car, traveling abroad, or even celebrating a professional achievement, what's our first reaction? This spontaneous response says much more about our relationship with abundance than any pretty speech. If a sense of unease, a silent criticism, or even a thought of comparison arises within you, It's a sign that there are still internal barriers that need to be acknowledged. The curious thing is that most people don't even realize this is happening because these thoughts have become automatic, almost imperceptible, hidden behind the scenes of the mind. And it's precisely in these shadows that scarcity takes root. The habit of criticizing others for their prosperity is, in practice, an unconscious way of rejecting one's own prosperity. When you feel envy or indignation at someone else's achievements, what you're saying energetically is, "This isn't for me." And no matter how much you say out loud that you want a better life, the silent message you send to the universe is completely different. The same goes for comparison. Every time you look at someone else's success and belittle yourself, you reinforce the idea that there's an unreachable ladder where you'll always be at a disadvantage. And the third sign, perhaps the most dangerous, is the feeling of injustice, believing that everything in life is unequal and that success only comes to those born with luck or privilege. This view imprisons you because it fuels the idea that nothing you do will be enough to change your reality. When we talk about financial self-awareness, we're not just talking about spreadsheets, bank accounts, or investment strategies. We're talking about something much deeper, directly affecting how you see yourself and interpret the world. It's a constant exercise of observation, of noticing the small reactions of everyday life and asking yourself, is what I'm feeling now bringing me closer or further away from the life I want? True transformation begins at this point of awareness because we can only change what we identify. Ignoring these signs is like trying to renovate a house without realizing the cracks in the foundation. And here's an essential detail. There's no shame in admitting these blocks. We've all at some point caught ourselves criticizing someone or feeling wronged. The problem isn't feeling it, but remaining in that state without questioning it. Awakening happens when you recognize the pattern, take a deep breath, and decide not to hold on to it. This decision makes room for something new, and it's in this space that true growth can flourish. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because understanding the signs is just the first layer. The next step is to discover where these blocks really come from, how they were formed, and how you can begin to dissolve them from the inside out, transforming each reaction into a turning point in your abundance journey. Comment there. That makes sense to me. When you begin to notice signs of internal blockage, a question naturally arises. Okay, but how do I change this within myself? This is the most powerful turning point anyone can experience because it shows that there is a path to real transformation. The hidden truth that few people discuss is that the mind is not an immutable prison, but rather a moldable space capable of being reprogrammed. Everything that was once repeated and became a habit can also be replaced by a new pattern. This is precisely where the power of mental reprogramming comes in, something that great masters like Bob Proctor dedicated their entire lives to teaching. Imagine that each thought is like a seed planted in the soil of your consciousness. If you constantly cultivate criticism, comparisons, and feelings of injustice, it's no surprise that the fruits you reap are scarcity and frustration. But if, the moment you notice envy arising, you decide to replace that thought with another, something like, if he could do it, so can cast, you're sending a new message to your mind and to the universe. This is the central point of the substitution technique. It's not about denying what you feel, but about consciously choosing which thought will gain strength within you. This process isn't just theory. It has practical impact. Consider a simple example. Someone closes a big deal, and you feel a tightness in your chest. Instead of letting that tightness grow, you can take a deep breath and say to yourself, this is an inspiration, living proof that prosperity is possible for everyone, including me. With this small shift, you not only shift the energy of the moment, but also begin to train your brain to associate other people's success with possibilities for your own life. Over time, this choice stops being an effort and becomes second nature. Bob Proctor often talked about the power of affirmations and visualizations as tools for reprogramming the mind. He believed that when you repeat a positive phrase, charged with intention and emotion, you are literally creating a new neural pathway within the brain. A powerful affirmation might be something like, I am worthy of prosperity, and it flows naturally to me. And to reinforce this, visualization acts as a creative exercise in which you close your eyes and imagine in detail the life you want to build. It could be the car you dream of driving, the house you want to live in, the feeling of opening the door and smelling the new home. The more vivid this image, the stronger the message sent to your subconscious. The interesting point is that the law of attraction isn't just about positive thinking, but about aligning your mindset, emotions, and actions. There's no point repeating empty affirmations if deep down you still harbor feelings of scarcity. It's like trying to paint a moldy wall without first treating the base. Therefore, each thought change is like clearing the ground so new seeds have room to grow. Prosperity doesn't happen overnight, but the impact of small daily changes is profound. Each time you choose inspiration over envy, gratitude over comparison, you are training your mind to accept abundance as natural. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because understanding the power of mental reprogramming is just the beginning. The real challenge lies in creating consistency, transforming these choices into habits that shape who you are. And when that happens, your journey to prosperity stops being just a distant wish and begins to become a concrete part of your reality. Right there. I'm on this journey too. There's a fascinating aspect to this journey of financial self-discovery that often goes unnoticed: how you view the wealth of others. For a long time, we've been conditioned to believe that other people's success diminishes our own, as if the universe were a small room with limited space for a few to occupy. This scarcity mindset breeds tension, comparison, resentment, and ultimately, only reinforces the feeling of lack. When you look at someone who has prospered and feel uncomfortable, it's as if you're saying to yourself, "This isn't for me." And this programming, even unconsciously, creates invisible barriers that keep you from the very thing you desire most. But the hidden truth is just the opposite. When you shift your perspective and begin to see the prosperity of others as evidence that abundance exists and is circulating, you take the first step toward attracting that same energy into your own life. Think for a moment about how you react to the achievements you see around you: a friend's new house, someone you're traveling with internationally, a co-worker's new car, or even the small advances that seem distant from your current reality. These situations aren't there to diminish you, but to show you that abundance is real, tangible, and accessible. The reflection you see isn't an invitation to envy, but rather to the revelation of possibilities. It's as if life is constantly placing bright signs in front of you saying, "Man, look, this can be yours too if you make room within yourself." This is the spirituality of money, not seeing wealth as something cold, distant, or dirty, but as part of a natural flow, a moving river, which responds directly to how you connect emotionally with it. The more you celebrate the wealth of others, the more you open space to attract your own. It seems simple, but this shift completely alters the frequency you emit. If you previously closed yourself off to criticism, judgment, or comparison, now you open yourself up to gratitude, inspiration, and expansion. If the success of others previously seemed like a threat, now it becomes a living sign that the same path can be followed. This mindset shift is subtle, almost imperceptible at first glance, but powerful because it reprograms the way your subconscious interprets the situations around you. Your brain stops registering wealth as something unattainable and begins to encode it as something natural, close, and entirely possible. The impact of this insight is profound. Instead of wasting energy comparing yourself, you begin to channel energy into creating. Instead of clinging to the idea that the cake is small and has already been shared, you understand that there is an infinite table, always ready to offer more. This awareness brings emotional lightness, reduces anxiety, and unlocks practical attitudes. Those who celebrate are inspired, those who are inspired act, and those who act inevitably attract results. Every time you feel genuine joy at someone's success, it's as if you send a silent but powerful signal to the universe. I too am ready to receive. And when this new mindset becomes part of you, something extraordinary happens. You begin to perceive opportunities that were previously hidden, attract people who vibrate at the same frequency of growth, and even make bolder decisions because you no longer see wealth as distant. Success ceases to be a rare exception and becomes seen as a natural consequence of a flow of abundance that is available to all who align with it. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic because this shift in perspective isn't just about thinking differently, but about feeling differently. When your feelings change, the signal you send to the world changes as well. It's as if you're adjusting the dial of your own internal frequency, tuning into the station of abundance. And in that moment, the prosperity already circulating around you finally finds an open door to enter your life. Comment there. I want to put this into practice. Getting this far is already a sign that something within you is awakening to a new understanding of money, success, and prosperity. If you followed each step, you'll realize that we're not just talking about numbers, spreadsheets, or investments, but something much deeper: how your feelings reflect the invisible programs that govern your financial life. Anger, envy, criticism, or discomfort with the wealth of others don't arise by chance. They are clear indicators of the limiting beliefs you still harbor, and that to this day have silently shaped your decisions, choices, and results. And the good news is that this can be transformed. When you understand that these feelings act as signals, like messages sent by your subconscious about patterns that need to be adjusted, you take the first step toward taking control of your own reality. Each reaction you observe in yourself is an opportunity for financial self-knowledge, a turning point that allows you to reprogram your mind and align your emotions with the abundance you truly desire to attract. The process doesn't happen overnight, but each small change, each conscious decision to replace thoughts of scarcity with thoughts of prosperity creates a cumulative effect that transforms how you relate to money and life. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because this understanding needs to be transformed into practice. The great truth is that the human mind functions as a faithful reflection of what you believe is possible. If you feel resentment or criticism, you are unconsciously repelling opportunities. But if you choose to feel inspiration, gratitude, and openness, you are creating a fertile ground for wealth to flow naturally to you. This is the essence of mental reprogramming. It's not about fighting your current reality, but about adjusting your internal frequency so that the abundance that already exists around you can manifest tangibly in your life. Every emotion you transform is a powerful decision. Every positive thought that replaces a scarcity mindset is another building block in building a new pattern of success. And the most interesting thing is to realize that this process is cumulative. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to recognize the signs, perceive internal blocks, and automatically replace limiting feelings with expanding ones. With this, not only your financial mindset evolves, but also your ability to make decisions aligned with your goals, see opportunities that previously went unnoticed, and build a reality in which prosperity is natural and constant. The impact of this transformation goes beyond money. It extends to how you face challenges, relate to people, and understand your own potential. True wealth, as Bob Proctor always emphasized, begins within. It arises from self-knowledge, awareness of the patterns that guide your actions, and the courage to reprogram your mind to accept that you deserve to prosper as much as anyone else around you. When you embrace this truth, every victory from others stops being an obstacle and becomes an inspiration. Every inner criticism becomes a learning experience, and every decision becomes aligned with the abundance you desire to manifest. Now is the time to reflect on your own path. All the insights, thought replacement techniques, visualizations, and mindset adjustments we've explored here have one purpose: to open space for you to experience complete transformation. Recognizing your patterns, understanding your feelings, and applying mental reprogramming will allow wealth, prosperity, and abundance to become a natural part of your life on every level. Now I want to hear from you. What's your reaction when you see someone prospering? Write in the comments, because recognizing this is the first step in your financial transformation. And if this video resonated with you, please like it, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and keep watching to further your journey of mental reprogramming and wealth. And if you've made it this far, it means you're truly seeking to understand how to reprogram your mind to attract wealth and transform your relationship with prosperity. So I invite you to continue this journey with me. Subscribe to the channel, because here you'll find content that truly helps you put these changes into practice without fuss and focused on real results. Also, leave a comment below saying something like, "I'm with you until the end," or "This message was for me," just so I know you've made it this far and are connected to this transformation. This creates incredible energy between us and further strengthens the community we're building together. And if this video brought insights that touched you, give it a like, because it's a simple way to recognize the connection we created during this content, and also helps to continue bringing these ideas to more people who need to reflect on their financial mindset. There's a video here that complements this topic. Click and stay with me there, because the journey of transformation doesn't stop, and each step will bring you even closer to the abundance mindset that you deserve to experience every day.